just really exciting times. It's so great when you work on something for years and years, and then a few more years, and then a few more years and years and years, and it gets done, right? And it gets done. You get the right people in government to push the football over the goal line after you took it from the 1-yard line, got it down inside the 20, and then you got stuck there for a few years. So, but I want to let them talk a little bit about that tonight and what the future plans are there. And sewers, of course, moving along. But what's big on my mind is our carnival's coming up. I'm sure a lot of you know our carnival's going to be here within about 6-7 weeks, right? Can't wait for that. That's going to be exciting. August 21st to the 24th. We did send out brochures, and thank you to everyone who did send in sponsorships. We appreciate that. Anybody who can help us out, any form, however you can do it, we would appreciate it. August 24th, again, is the Sunday. Starts on the 21st. Be a great event. We have live music, as usual. Peasants Harp will be there. We have a really good high school band, Sachem High School band, that recorded an EP. They're like a metal band, but they're going to play. They're going to play on Sunday afternoon. I think they're going to bring down a nice little crowd. They already got an EP. They're getting their name out there. They're all like seniors at Sachem. So the dad called me. I said, I got it. If I passed on them and they're the next big star, how silly would I look, right? So. And we have our guest speaker here tonight as well, Doreen. So yeah, a lot of good stuff happening. We're going to eat shortly, and again, we have a guest speaker as well tonight. I'll bring her up in a little bit, and yeah, a lot of fun. So Chris, without any further ado, you just want to bring up, give everybody a real estate update that you have there real quick?
As far as real estate goes, 25 active listings. The highest price is like 900 and something thousand. The lowest is in the 4s. The average price is $648. The median price is $629. So the market's strong. Interest rates, they're still like 6.7. We'll see what Jerome Powell does. I think, Trump's squeezing them a little bit.
Of course, I didn't pay anything for the house, but my rates were like 10%, 11%.
Yeah. And so the real estate market is good. As far as our website, okay, we had 19 new members since the beginning of the year, which is great. So we're going to work out well this year. We had 792 views on our site, and we had 1,534 visitors. So our website's getting a lot of traffic. I think it has a lot to do because of what we're doing with YouTube here and Facebook. And Rick staying on top of, running all these meetings and getting us all together.
But next month, the first Thursday, whatever that is in August, the 7th, yeah, we have Maloney's Funeral Home is going to be our presenters, so I'm looking forward to that. They're going to present on, I guess, pre-planning funerals, and I think is Dan or Danielle going to be here, one of the principals. So Danielle Maloney, she's great. I love her. She's a great speaker. They're going to be here. They were nice enough to help us out with our parade. They marched in the parade this year, which is the first time they marched in our parade. So we thank you for that, Barbara. We really do. And we appreciate having Maloney's in the room. You're a big part of our community. You guys mean a lot. You certainly mean a lot to me. I know you mean a lot to the chamber.
So yeah, great news. The building's finally down at the park. This was a long time coming. The chamber had talked about this for probably over a decade, I want to say, at this point. And when I first got in, I met with the chamber. I met with multiple chambers, but especially the Holbrook chamber. And I said to them, listen, I can't make any promises about getting these things done, but I promise you I'll work hard and I'll get them over the finish line. And that's what we've done. Not only is the park now done, the sewer project is going to be done. The Patrick Holbrook Road reconstruction project is going to be redone. So we're able to get a lot of capital dollars into this area. When I first got into office, I was in the minority, and I saw where all the money was going. East Hampton, Southampton, Quogue, Bridgehampton. And I said to myself, hey, wait a second. My constituent's one of the densest areas in the whole county. We pay a lot of money in taxes. We need that money to start working for us instead of against us. And while I understand that East is a wonderful place for tourists and they generate a lot of money, the people who live here also need to have a place that's revitalized and where people want to come and spend money, and that's what's going to happen with Main Street once we get done with this project. So looking forward to the Holbrook Sewer project finally breaking ground. Hopefully December, I think was what they told us, so maybe November. So tentatively that's going to start, and then this fall we're hoping the Patrick Holbrook Road project also starts simultaneously so we can get those both done. It's a multi-million. Yeah, a lot of calls I get, especially as the weather gets warm and weeds start growing, is Patrick Holbrook Road looks like a disaster. So for those of you who live here or have a business here, Patrick Holbrook Road is basically the gateway to Holbrook. And the weeds are out of control, the bricks are falling apart, it's a mess. It needs to be repaved, restriped. So once we do that, they're going to rip out all the bushes, they're going to do stamped concrete or brick from the Long Island Expressway almost all the way up to Waverly Avenue. So that's going to be brand new. Yeah, it's going to be a big project, repaved, restriped, and it's really going to look nice as you come into Holbrook, come into our new Main Street, come into the new park, which will be more walkable once we get done with it. And then also we're getting Nichols Road paved from Montauk Highway to Forest Road, which is basically the whole district for those of you who take Nichols Road. Also, Nichols Road, is a big part of Holbrook, and they're going to do a study to see if they can make 3 lanes on each side instead of the 2 lanes to relieve some of the traffic congestion, because it's just impossible to move on Nichols Road past 4:30 until about almost 7 o'clock at night, most nights during the week. So we're going to have the traffic study done there, the road study done there, and hopefully by next year they'll decide what they're going to do with that project, DPW. But I think it's a good idea, especially for emergency service vehicles that need to get through, that get stuck. Instead of trying to ride in the middle, there'll be more room. And I know the fire department had come to me about a couple of issues with accidents and speeding, and we're going to have a meeting in my office to kind of address that and see what kind of mitigation we can do to cure all that stuff. So a lot of good things for Holbrook. Obviously, the carnival's coming up. Always happy to support the chamber with a grant for the carnival. It's their big fundraiser, but it's not just for fundraising. It's a community event where everybody comes and has a great time. So looking forward to it. Obviously, my partner in government, Assemblyman Smith, Sean's here from his office. We work very closely together, and you'll probably see me knocking on your door soon. So don't throw anything at me. I appreciate it.
Yes.
Thanks, Rick.
Thank you, Anthony, for everything. I mean, Anthony is... to have somebody like Anthony, what happens is when you have somebody in government who grew up in the neighborhood, whose grandparents were here, his parents, he grew up in the community, like him, somebody like Doug Smith who lives in the area. Now all of a sudden Holbrook gets the shine. For years and years we were always kind of forgotten, and I get it. A lot of the elected officials lived west of here because we're the furthest east in the town of Islip. Most people know that. And a lot of stuff gets done in Islip and Bayshore, and it makes sense. Look, I'm parochial too. If I work for the town, I'd probably be the same way. Holbrook comes first, everything else next. But now, because we have great leaders in a position to help us, things are getting done for Holbrook, and I love it because you know what? It makes the chamber look good, but more importantly, we're getting things done. When they redo Patchogue Holbrook Road, that is going to be just absolutely incredible, because you drive around Long Island, a lot of the roads look like crap, not just Holbrook. A lot of I live up in the Port Jeff area, and 347, they got weeds that's like Jack and a Beanstalk. They could film a sequel there for that. I mean, it's that bad, So let's not kid ourselves. But to have that done is going to really be a big help, and I can't wait. And Anthony did, humbly mention he helps us out very much as well with the carnival. The carnival, to get that expense, I mean, you're all business owners here. It's big bucks. I mean, it's tens of thousands just to have the event. We get 4 days of rain. Thank God we have that backup. I mean, between the stage and all the rentals and everything, before we sell one ride ticket, we're in the hole for a lot of money in the chamber. And thankfully, Anthony's grant is huge, helps us out. I'll just give you an example. We do that world-class fireworks show. It's a 10-minute show. It's $12,000 to do that show. But it's important that we do the show because people look forward to it. And I'm going to be boastful and say that the carnival is the #1 event every year in Holbrook. It's better than any of the concerts that ISIP does, and it's better than any of the other events. I'm sorry if your daughter got married at Lombardi's. This is the #1 event every year. Every year is the carnival, and people know it. And I was with a friend of mine yesterday, Jason Zub, who he married his wife Nicole, who works for Town of Islip, works for Supervisor Carpenter. They met at the carnival. Think about that. I saw him yesterday. They actually met at the carnival, 20 years ago, whatever it was, 15 years ago. It's amazing. So good stuff. So now I want to bring up Sean Himes from New York State Assemblyman Doug Smith. Doug Smith, like Anthony, you talk about power partners, a county legislator, and a New York State Assemblyman that get together. First on their mind when they go up there is us for Holbrook. So I'm so glad that I lasted this long, me and my vice president, who I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Kevin, because if it wasn't for Kevin, I don't know any of us would have realized what the gem that park was. But, he certainly made it clear to me 10 years ago, 12 years ago, and then, of course, convinced Anthony and Doug. Many late-night phone calls with these guys on the phone, taking our calls, always. Unbelievable how they respond. And I want to thank Kevin as well. I know he was very proud. Kevin, eventually he hopes to get back on his feet, be back at the meetings, and be active again. He's obviously gone through a lot of health crisis, so it's been tough for him. But he was at that event, and it was so nice to have him there. And he was part of the process. And I sat there next to Kevin, and he actually had a tear in his eye. And man, that really choked me up too to see that done. So to see a dream like that recognized was really exciting, and because of these men. So Sean Himes from Doug Smith's office. Doug couldn't be here tonight, but Sean is the next best thing, maybe the best thing. Thank you.
Thank you, Rick. So yes, the old administrative property on Union Avenue has been demolished. Thank you, big thank you to Legislator Piccirillo for securing the funds to make that happen. That was a great partnership, and the town of Brookhaven, you know, we should really thank Deputy Supervisor Councilman Neil Foley and now County Executive Ed Romaine and Supervisor Dan Panico and the rest of the town board for paying for the demolition. It was a very costly matter. There was asbestos that had to be removed. So thank you to our partners in the town of Brookhaven that paid for that demolition. You know, wouldn't have happened without that. And it was great to see Kevin Guilfoyle, who I think he's been talking about this since what, 2007, Rick? Yeah, like 2007 or 2005, you know. So this, and now we have the sewers coming in. This is going to make downtown Holbrook look great. So this is what can happen, and I should add, the Assemblyman has, you know, been able to earmark several $100,000 for improvements for the park. So it's going to be beautiful, and we again, this is a great partnership. So thank you to all of our partners and the Holbrook Chamber for being such fierce advocates. We had a couple bumps in the road, and it was Rick and Kevin and the members of the Holbrook Chamber of Commerce that told the powers that be that no, this is going to happen, and you need to be on board with this. So thank you to everyone in this room. There's a couple things I want to mention. First of all, the Assemblyman regrets he couldn't be here tonight. But the legislative session in Albany is finally over, and you know, Al Graff, Judge Graff, would always say when he was in the Assembly that the most dangerous time of year is when the legislature is in session. So your wallets are safe for now. But there were a couple, you know, like again, it's always the bad and the ugly. Very, very rarely good things happen in Albany. The budget process, the budget was a month late, and it was $254 billion, $250 billion. It's bigger than the budget of Florida and Texas put together. And we're spending that, and the Assembly would argue, wastefully spending that, you know, on things we definitely don't need. Now, be on the lookout. I know this is going to be a real game changer. You will all be getting a check for either $300 or $400, courtesy of Governor Hochul. Don't spend it all in one place. You know, so instead of just doing a tax cut, you know, and just letting you have a little bit more money, we have to spend money and cut checks out to people. But that was what the governor and the legislature, majority in the legislature, decided to do. The other thing they did, and this was really disgusting, they made a $10 million defense slush fund. So in case, I don't know, Attorney General Letitia James may have some legal problems, the people of New York State will be paying for her legal defense. And just to remind people, New York State is still spending money to defend Andrew Cuomo, out of all people, because those actions, quote unquote, took place when he was doing his official duties as governor. So we're still paying for his legal defense. So that's the New York State update. I want to just mention a couple things we're doing. So on Wednesday, July 23rd, from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Sachem Public Library, we're happy to team up with Legislator Piccirillo and the Suffolk County Sheriff's Department. We're doing a Safe Child ID event. And, you know, basically, you know, this is so for children, they can get an ID made, they can get in the database, so God forbid your child ever gets lost. It greatly aids in getting, you know, finding them sooner. So, again, that's Wednesday, July 23rd, 11 p.m. to 2 p.m. at the Sachem Library in Holbrook. We got that going on. And then we are having a Christmas in July toy drive and luncheon at our district office on Vets Highway in Ronkonkoma on Friday, July 25th. That's from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. We're collecting toys for the Stony Brook Children's Hospital. So, please come down with a toy, a new wrap toy. Please come down, and the assemblyman will be there, and you could, we could have a conversation about all these things, and grab a hero or a bagel. And the last thing I want to mention, and normally, I don't keep, don't mention politics, but I do want to proudly say that Assemblyman Doug Smith on Tuesday night was elected the chairman of the Isoptown Republican Committee, and I believe he might be the first chairman from Holbrook. We haven't verified that, but it is the first time in a long time that we have had a chairman of the Isoptown Republican Committee from this part of town. And we have a great executive board. We have Dawn Marie Kuhn, who is the chief of staff to Legislator Piccirillo. She's our vice chairwoman. We have Tom Luciano, who's a great legal mind. He's our treasurer. And Chris Calcaperto, who works in OTB, off-track betting. He's a great business-minded man, and he's our secretary. And we are looking to the future. We want to really work with Commissioner Schneider at the airport, make the airport even better than it is now. We want to bring some attention to this part of town, because, as Rick has said, this part of town's been ignored for many years. And, we're going to work with Councilman Lorenzo and the rest of the Isoptown board and really try to shine a light on Holbrook and the rest of this town. So I just want to mention that, we are, moving things in a better direction. And look, and the Assemblyman, you all know Doug, grew up here, raised here. He, wants to champion everybody, regardless of your political affiliation. So, but in this role as chairman of the Isoptown Republican Committee, we're going to make sure, he's a proud Republican, that our party, does deliver for this part of town and for the whole town of Isop. So, on his behalf, I want to wish everyone a happy 4th of July, and we're definitely looking forward to the Holbrook Carnival. It's always around his daughter's birthday, and let me tell you, she gets a kick out of being able to celebrate her birthday, at the carnival. It's become a real treat every year for her. So, Rick, everyone here, thank you.
Thank you, Sean. Thank you so much. I came to a chamber meeting and a Young Republicans committee meeting broke out. Not bad, though. No, we love what you do, and we appreciate it. And yes, like I said, Doug and Anthony, I can't say enough to them. Also, I definitely would like to thank Sachem School Board for finally agreeing as well to sell that property to us. So that was great. And obviously, Suffolk County Economic Development, who worked closely with Anthony to get this project done for the building. And yes, thank you for mentioning certainly Neil Foley, who is our councilman representative for the Brookhaven portion of Holbrook. And not only that, he's a deputy supervisor. So I appreciate him and Dan Panico, who fortunately were both present to be there with us as well to take the photo and kind of enjoy that moment where that crane went into the building for the first time. So that was really exciting. So again, we thank that. Listen, it takes a village to get things done, right? So I appreciate that when part of the village is the government, and that's very important. So.
Thank you so much, Rick. I really appreciate it. And thank you all for having me tonight. I truly appreciate it. So I'm going to get started. I'm going to kind of abbreviate a little bit because it's going to be difficult for me to hold this and the microphone at the same time. So, do you have a? Yeah. You have a thing? Okay. Okay. And I did not know that you had a YouTube channel, so now I have to go back and watch some of your other meetings. I came about 3 or 4 years ago. So Rick invited me back, part of the Holbrook Industrial Association. You actually look familiar. You with the Holbrook Industrial? Okay, you look familiar. Oh, so can I? Okay, so I could do that. How nice is that? Thank you so much. Perfect. Okay. So good evening, everyone, and welcome. As Rick said, I'm Doreen Nabil. I'm the Business Relations Representative with Access VR. We are an agency under the New York State Department of Education. My role in the agency is to provide information and resources to the business community. And tonight I'll be offering information on who is eligible to receive our services and how I can help businesses to fill positions. We pre-screen candidates for positions, so if I know, a certain candidate that a company is looking for, I can look and see, who we might have to refer the best candidates. And I will welcome questions from the audience once my presentation is over, and we can also schedule private conversations either in person or on Zoom. Okay, so Access VR's mission, first of all, it stands for Adult Career and Continuing Educational Services Vocational Rehabilitation. So our mission is to assist individuals with disabilities to achieve and maintain employment and to support independent living through training, education, rehabilitation, and career development. So a disability can make it hard to find or keep a job. The eligibility for our services is that someone needs to have a physical or mental impairment that prevents or significantly affects their ability to prepare for, enter into, retain, or advance in employment. A disability does not prevent one's participation in our services, and having a disability can make it harder to find and keep a job. So for an example, an individual has been a construction worker for many years, and he injures his back and can no longer lift and carry objects weighing 20 pounds, okay? So, that person may need a different job. Maybe they need something where they're not lifting and carrying anymore. We can help with that. Sometimes people have difficulty keeping jobs. They may have difficulty getting along with others. They may have problems sleeping and have difficulty getting up early and being on time. Our counselors talk to people about what issues they have that interfere with employment. And a counselor, tries to help them find ways to go to work despite their disability. So there are many types of disabilities, and a lot of people, they think, oh yes, someone in a wheelchair, that's a disability. But there are so many other types of disabilities. I'm just going to give you a few. Having hearing loss, low vision, mental illness, respiratory issues, cardiac issues, substance abuse, arthritis, multiple sclerosis, cerebral palsy, intellectual disabilities, allergies, diabetes, learning disabilities. So a lot of these disabilities may be hidden. People may not know that someone even has a disability, but having that disability may affect someone's ability to find or maintain their employment. So, for example, if someone has diabetes, if the diabetes is under control and the individual works indoors in a climate-controlled environment, that person may not be eligible for our services because it's not really impacting their ability to work. However, if the diabetes is not under control or the individual works outside in an occupation where they're prone to, accident or injury and does not have consistent breaks, they may be eligible for our services, and maybe they need a different job to help them. Okay. So the funding for our services, we're funded by the federal government and New York State. Okay. A person must have a permanent disability to receive our services. So if someone breaks their arm or leg, probably not. But if someone loses an arm or leg, then I would say that they would be eligible for our services. Sometimes our counselors are in every high school in New York State. They usually meet with students when they're in their junior or senior year of high school, and they help them to decide if they're going to go on to college or if they just want to get a job when they graduate. Often we try to help students in high school find jobs before they graduate. In the summers, in 11th grade or 12th grade, we try to help them find employment to see if they really just want to go to work and what the world of work is like. So as far as businesses that work with us, so there's no cost to receive recruitment services from Access VR. We're a state agency. There's business relations representatives all throughout the entire state of New York. I cover all of Suffolk County, and I provide resources and information to businesses on how they can save money on hiring with people with disabilities. So like I said earlier, I pre-screen candidates and I try to bring the best candidates for the job, okay? And if you meet somebody and you hire them, there are large tax credits available through the federal government and New York State for hiring someone with a disability. And I have to say, I've been doing this work for close to 35 years now, and many people that I've helped find jobs stay in those jobs for a really long time. They tend to really be very consistent, loyal employees, and they don't leave to just make an extra $1 an hour and just go somewhere else. Once they find work that they value and they're good at, they tend to really stay for a long time, which is really helpful to employers. Something else I want to mention, as we're an aging population, we're having sometimes difficulty with our hearing, our vision, our mobility. Sometimes this happens as we get older. We can help businesses with that too. Sometimes there are accommodations, there's technology and different resources to help people that may be struggling in their job for a certain reason. If someone's having, a vision problem that's not taken care of with glasses, maybe they need a certain different type of computer screen. Someone's having carpal tunnel syndrome, maybe they need a standing mouse or some other type of device. So we help with a lot of different things such as that. There's also something else that I'm very involved with is work tryouts. So if businesses interview candidates and say someone just graduates with a degree in accounting and thinking about hiring this person for your accounting department, but you're not sure because they have no work experience in the field, we can offer a work tryout, meaning that we can reimburse their salary for a couple of months of training, just to give them an opportunity to see if they like the job and to see if it's a good match and if the employer likes their work and they think they're a good employee. Usually we start out with 2 or 3 months and we'll reimburse their salary at 100%. And it really gives the employer an opportunity to kind of see what the employee is all about and see if they can do the work. And they do not have to be guaranteed a job. Of course, we like when that happens. And I would say we have about a 90% success rate where people are hired at the end of the work tryout, but they do not have to be guaranteed a position. And what's great about it is the person, gets paid for that time. They can put something on their resume. And if they're offered a job, great. And if they're not, we move on and we try to find them a job somewhere else. But that's something that I'm very involved with. So I don't want to, go too long with all of this. Definitely going to take questions. And, if anybody wants to meet with me individually, I can come to your business. We can meet on Zoom. I love talking to different people. I know some of you have contact with other chambers. I would love to talk to other chambers about what we do. A lot of people on my team say that we're the best kept secret. A lot of businesses do not know that we exist. We work very closely with the Department of Labor. And, to try to, encourage people to go to job fairs. And there's a lot of different resources that we work together on. So is there any questions? I can take questions from the audience if anyone has any questions. Yeah,
About how many job placements do you do per year?
I would say overall in the state, about 3,000. Not sure exactly Suffolk County, but I know there's about 3,000 yearly. 3,000 people that we help place in employment yearly. And we send people for all different kinds of training too. So, people can go for training, truck driver training, Hunter Business School, college, a lot of different programs. I do have to say that it is based on economic need. So when our counselors meet with the high school students and they want us to sponsor them for college, they have to fill out a financial needs assessment, which is like a FAFSA, similar. So they look at their financial records to see how much, we would contribute and how much the family would have to contribute for that. But there are certain services that are at no cost. So if there's someone that maybe needs a job coach to help them learn their job, that is no cost service to that person. We also help people that with hearing impairments that maybe they need hearing aids. There's a lot of different services that we provide. There's also an agency called Silo, Suffolk Independent Living Organization, that is located in Medford. They're a partner organization of ours, and they help people with disabilities, anyone that's in the community, whether they're registered with us or not, with a lot of different services. Housing. They help them with, clothes, food, technology, counseling, social work counseling, a lot of different services they help with. So that's another organization. So, okay. Well, thank you so much, Rick, and thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you so much. Yeah. This is good. We love to create some awareness because, you never know. You might have a loved one or a family member or a friend, who needs the services. So we like to bring in folks like Doreen, especially with the state, and we appreciate that. So thank you, Doreen, for being here tonight. Appreciate you. So we have a few minutes. We're going to go around, do our little round robin, so everybody gets an opportunity to introduce themselves. And obviously, make note if you see somebody that gets up and it's in a business you might be interested. Make sure you make note of their name and give them a contact. Of course, HolbrookChamber.com. Everybody's information that's a member is on there, so you can easily find their website, you can find their phone number, and the way to contact them easily. So it's important that we kind of continue to work together, which it does really work well in Holbrook. I have the Happenings magazine right in the middle. I have that center spread. Every single member of the chamber is listed there with their phone number, their business, and their category. So that's important too. So if you're looking to do some catering or whatever, or you want to see when Toast is going to open up, Sonia's here from the new Toast that's going to open up at Station Yards, which I have to say, I like that Station Yards has really reached out, and I want to thank obviously Chris Kelly and Jessica Nelson from Tritech. They've kind of put some of the businesses over there, well, most of the businesses over there, hip to the fact that, you got a lot of business in Holbrook there, and, they're always looking for something new. I mean, they've got a few great restaurants on Main Street, but we like to try some other things, and a breakfast at Toast, well, that's that's about as good as it gets on Long Island. We know that.
Ken Sampedro, the carpet cleaning guy. We do carpets, clean carpets, upholstery, tile and grout, area rugs. Right now, maintain compared to replacement. $1,500, $2,000 for a carpet, $100 we can clean it. So if you need a different color, by all means go buy a new one. But if you want to save a couple of bucks and we can get you another couple of years out of it, we'll do that for you. And I'm also, of course, a proud board member of the chamber for the last 20-something years.
And the main ticket booth.
The main money taker.
He's the main money taker on the second main money taker, right? At the carnival. So, hi, Karen Roth from Remax Integrity Leaders. I am also on the Long Island Advisory Board for Make-A-Wish. Love the people in this chamber. Mr. Frosty has done some of my events at my open houses. Rick and his magazine. Dave is my accountant. And Jerry has, your carpet cleaning guy. I've worked with him. So utilize the people in the chamber because they're amazing. Jerry has mowed the lawn on a hill for a client of mine. He loved that one in the sweltering heat. So utilize the people here. And of course, Trish, I love you. EJ's PJs. We're going to make a really great video, so keep an eye on that. Maybe you'll put that on your YouTube channel. I'm a board member for Middle Country and Middle Country Chamber of Commerce, a member of the Farmingville Chamber, and I'm joining the Ronkonkoma.
Good evening all. Dave Courts, CPA. Offices in Smithtown, and we still do a few out of the house in Islandia. Making taxes less taxing for folks since 1989. We do taxes for individuals and small businesses, and also offer outsourced CFO services for that small business who can't afford that full-time six-figure CFO on their payroll. Summertime is a good time to come in and see me for a free review of the last 3 years' taxes. You never know what we'll find on a free review. We've gotten people back up to $30,000, $40,000 fixing other CPAs and other accountants' mistakes. Bring it on down. We'd love to work with everyone in the chamber. Thanks.
Also do our taxes.
Yes, we take care of the taxes for the Holbrook Chamber for the last 3 or 4 years. Thanks, Rick.
Good job.
And we work with a bunch of folks in the room. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Bill. I'm from the Country Printer. We're design print direct mail specialists. We actually print for the chamber. We do the brochure for the carnival. We've done some of the signs for the carnival as well, and the membership brochure recently. We're based in Hauppauge, but I'm a resident here for 23 years now, and grew up one town over in Ronkonkoma. So went from Connecticut to Sachem, and like Sachem better. So thanks, guys.
My name is Ray. I'm with Tri-Build Construction. We're a full-service general contractor from the foundation up through the roof, and kitchens, bathrooms, anything you need, we do it. I've been a member here since, I think I joined back in November of last year. I'm also a member of the MacArthur Business Alliance and a few other things here and there. Trying to, get the name out there, keep my name going. So I really enjoy this chamber. It's been very active, and I'm in Rick's book, Happenings. It's been unbelievable. The people that look at that book and call, it changed a lot. So thank you very much.
Evening, everybody. Jerry Keeley from Partners in Bergoglio Landscaping and Irrigation. This is our 17th year in business. All types of commercial, residential, anything you can think of. We've been lucky this year. We've been working like crazy, but it's been very, very hot the last couple of weeks. So we are running a little bit behind, but if you give us a call, we will call you back within 24 hours and we will get to you as soon as possible. I'm also, I think, on the board now for this chamber for going on 10 years, and I am a resident here going on my 34th year. So if you need me, you can find me.
Buddy, I'm Joe Patton. I'm one of the fire commissioners here at the Holbrook Fire District. I'd like to introduce Second Assistant Chief Charlie Apostle. And the reason I'm doing that is we work in collaboration with the Chief's office. The district deals with the taxpayers' dollars, and we work it very diligently to give the chiefs what they need to run the department. Part of what we do is we started a multi-district organization with our neighboring fire districts. And with that program, we did a major recruitment, and you're going to get these mail-ins both at your homes and in your business. And what it is basically a recruitment postcard for all the fire districts: Bohemia, Holbrook, West Sable, and Sable. It didn't cost the taxpayers $1 because amongst all the districts, we got a grant. And Chief Avatabo, who's the chief of the Holbrook Fire Department, was instrumental in this. So it was no cost to the taxpayers, and it's in addition to what the county legislature and the state assembly gave us with Recruit New York this year, which actually brought in a ton of members for us, or a great handful. I shouldn't say a ton, but a great handful. So we appreciate what the government's doing for us, and this is just something extra that we're able to do with our neighboring departments and districts.
Rob Ackley, Coach Rob from Prevention Performance Fitness Studio. We're located in Holtzville down the road on Waverly Avenue. Private personal training, semi-private personal training, and we have group fitness classes and offer nutrition services as well. I always say we're preventing you guys from getting injured and improving your performance. I've been a member since last year, and getting to know everybody still in the group, so I'm thankful to be here. We're looking to, like I said, we're in Holtzville right now in my studio, looking to possibly expand over to Ronkonkoma on Hawkins Avenue, negotiating the lease currently, so looking forward to that. Thanks for having me, and thank you guys.
Congratulations.
Hi, my name is Patricia Poggi. I first want to say I am the crossing guard over down at Hiawatha on Patchogue Holbrook Road. So this area to me is very special. I love my kids and my job so much. It's an honor to be at this Holbrook meeting. I run EJ's PJs. We provide brand new pajamas for the communities in need. Started in 2011, 34 pairs with my 3 sons. And we are now in over 200 businesses and have given out over 17,000 pajamas all across Suffolk County, Long Island, and a couple of other states. 17,000! Yes, so save the date, December 5th. We have a big event, and also if anybody's companies or businesses want to partner up, or you know any families or children in need, through tragedies and sickness, we are able to be a blessing during other people's times in need.
Hi, my name is Sonia Figueroa. I'm a general manager with Toast Coffee and Kitchen. Specifically, I'll be heading up the new Ronkonkoma location coming in Station Yards. So I'm super excited about that. I know it's been a long time coming, but I used to be a resident of Holbrook and Holtzville years ago when my older son was younger. We left, went to Nassau County for a little while, and we're back. So it's nice to have the kids back in Sachem. It's nice to be like in the area. So super excited to be here. I did join the Ronkonkoma Chamber of Commerce too. So I'm really trying to like plant my feet for this entire like area for Toast. So yeah, super excited. So come down. Maybe next couple of meetings we can have over at Toast.
Hello, Stephen and Marino. I don't represent a business. I represent Somerset community. So if you go out of the exit here, it's about 150 homes, and we're looking to get more involved in understanding what's going on with the community. So thanks for having us, and really appreciate meeting everybody. And by the way, if you ever do any business in there, we have a Facebook page. Ask them to recommend you. We're very big on recommendations there. Once somebody starts doing work in there, you'll see that they pop up at other homes as well. So thank you.
Hi, my name is Dave Rollo. I am the principal owner of Mr. Frosty of Suffolk County Incorporated. We own the soft ice cream trucks that you see in the streets. We just recently moved our depot from Medford out to Ridge. We bought a bigger building out there for the trucks. Our son, not a kid, he's 49 years old. He runs the trucks, the drivers at the depot. My wife and I run the office, and she'll tell you a little more about the business.
Okay, we do anything from birthday parties to weddings, and we go into the city and as far east as East Hampton. So don't be afraid about, oh, well, they're only local. No, we're not local. We do everywhere. So thank you.
I'm Barbara. This is my husband, Chris. I'm from Maloney Funeral Homes.
Real quick, Barbara.
Well, I got a little nervous. I'm from Maloney Funeral Homes. I'm also a lifetime resident of Holbrook. So again, Danielle Maloney will be here next month, and she'll give a whole presentation together on pre-need, pre-planning, and any other questions. I know nobody really wants to talk to us and meet with us, but we're a nice crowd, so.
Hi, my name's Jean Lazaro. Me and my husband were in the Holbrook Chamber for years. We used to own the deli in Holbrook on Union Avenue. He sold it, and he has another business. He sells ATV parts online. He doesn't like these kind of things, so that's one of the reasons I'm here. But I also started a petition. I did the street fair, when was that, May, I think it was, and I started a petition to bring the fireworks back to Lake Ronkonkoma, and I already got 1,300 signatures, and I started an online site, and everybody, like that's my age, used to go down and watch the fireworks, like bring it back. So I'm trying to bring it back, and all the chambers and civic groups want to bring it back, so we'll see.
And last but not least, I'll introduce myself real quick again for those that don't know me in the room, and then I'm just going to go around the room real quick and kind of reflect on the meeting, then we'll close up. We'll have coffee, cake, and everything. But so I'm Rick Amorati. I've been the president of this Holbrook Chamber of Commerce. I got sworn in March of 2000 along with my vice president, so we're in our 26th year, technically. 25 years. I feel like I got another 25 years before we'll get everything done that we need to get done. So that's been a proud moment for me. What do I do for a living? Well, for the purposes of this room, what I do is I have Happenings Magazine. So Happenings Magazine is a 76-page publication. Gets mailed to Holbrook and Holtzville, 16,000 homes and businesses. And then I have one in Ronkonkoma as well, which is about a 60-page publication this month. That's also growing very, very well. Station Yards is a big inspiration for that, as is, of course, Hawkins and Portion. But the reason why I did the book, really, I was pushed by my vice president because there used to be a book called Our Place that isn't around anymore. And when they folded up during COVID, for a lot of good reasons, it just became a very difficult business model for them. We created Happenings, and we want to keep the community aware. I know there's social media. Social media is great. We all go on the phone, we look at Google and what have you, but it doesn't always prompt us to think about local things. Yeah, we talk about the big, beautiful bill, that gets prompt for that. Our sports, our social stuff, that's all great. But local business stuff, you find it in the magazine. And that's what we do. We do the school, we do the library, we do the fire department writes a beautiful column every month. Neil Heffernan, and we keep the community connected. That's how we built the carnival, through that publication. So people like a good tangible feel, tangible read. So that's what I do for a living during the day. I'm also the vice president of the MacArthur Business Alliance, which is a very up-and-coming, growing group. They've been around 30 years, but the last 2 or 3 years under the leadership of the president, Chris Coluccio, my dear friend, and I'm his vice president, we had an event called Hanger Fest last month, and I don't know, a few of you might have made it there. We had over 600 people come. We had an event at the Hanger, live music, food, vendors. Every vendor there had a not a good time. They had a phenomenal time. They made a lot of new connections. They made a lot of friends, and it was really great. So that's kind of what I do. I mean, listen, if you need to know somebody, I do know a lot of people, and it's not like, oh, I know a lot of people. But no, I do. I have a lot of connections because I've been around a long time, and that's what I do. I like to connect people. I like to help people. So that's who Rick Amorati is, for those who don't know who I am. And, and I'm excited. We're going to wrap the meeting up, but, I just want to recognize a few people in the room. For example, Sonia from Toast. Toast doesn't even need to be in this room. They're going to open up their door, and they're going to be busy from noon till forever, because you know what's going to happen? Everybody wants to go to Toast. They have a great location. They have one in Patchogue. They have one up in Port Jeff Station by where I live. And I think they have one in the Bayshore area, and they're doing phenomenal. But you know what's nice? We have Sonia, who's a local, right, Holbrook girl, who's in Holbrook here for a while, to come down here. I'm really touched by the fact that they're here in the room. And there's a number of people. Maloney's doesn't really need to be in the room either, but you know what? They're here. They want it, and they're going to be our guest speaker next month. And I got to tell you, I see some empty tables back here, and I know it's 4th of July Eve, but we got to get more people in the room. More members need to be here. We have 180 members in the Chamber of Commerce. Typically, we're the average. You get about 10 to 15% of your membership. That's what you get. And it's a little lighter tonight, but we normally get about 30, 35 people. I'd like to see us have a few more people. We have Maloney's next month. They're going to talk about pre-planning. There's not a person in this room that, unless they've done it already, that doesn't need to know about pre-planning their funerals, or they may have a mom, like I have my mom. I got to push her to do it. You need to be here for that. Then in September 4th, so that's August 7th, Maloney's will be doing a nice presentation. We'll have the projector working for them. And then we're going to have our county executives going to come and visit us on September 4th. And I want to have this room filled for Ed. Ed happens to be a very dear friend of mine and also Marilyn Wenz. And, of course, he's worked very closely. You don't want to miss a moment to have an opportunity to introduce yourself and ask the county executive questions. This guy wants to spend money. He's all about open space. He wants to do things in the downtown. They're trying to sewer the entire... Do you believe only 25% of the county is sewered? That's crazy. Holbrook is finally going to get sewers, and I'm laughing because we worked on these sewers since 2006. What is that, 19 years? And now that everybody's talking about sewers is the buzz thing. I'm like, that's been a buzz thing for us for almost 20 years. For commercial use, yeah. Residential I can't speak to, but for commercial. But I do believe they want to do some residential too. Obviously, it's important to help our environment. So that's really good too as well. So, but yeah, we're on the commercial focus. There's no question about it. Steve, that's our bailiwick. That's what the chamber does. But yeah, I would love to see. Hey, listen, my parents, God bless them, they moved into Parkland right over this golf course. My mom still lives there. And they moved into a sewered community in 1975. And my grandfather said, buy that house, it's sewered. They paid a whole $34,000 and change for that house. Right? Imagine that, right? And that was probably expensive back then for Holbrook. But the point being is that, yeah, sewers are imminent. And I think eventually the whole county will get sewered. And nobody better than County Executive Ed Romaine. He's really pushing to do that. They raised the tax an eighth of a penny. I know that a lot of people weren't crazy about that, but nobody really notices it. I mean, we're getting hit all over the place anyway when we go out to eat and groceries. So I'm glad to see that money's going towards new sewers and getting our community sewered. But fortunately, Holbrook will be way over it. The sewer application is in the Office of the State Controller. It's being currently reviewed by DiNapoli, and we hope to have that release. It'll go out to bid, and that project hopefully will get awarded sometime in September or October, and then Holbrook will start to have the groundbreaking, and the sewers will we should break ground sometime in November or December, and we're very excited. That's going to dynamically change the downtown. I can't speak to what the property owners are going to do because I'm not a commercial property owner in Holbrook, but I can tell you it's already going to increase their value 20% without even just flipping the switch, and having sewers is going to increase it 20%. What they decide to do density-wise and what the town allows as far as zoning and relaxation, what they're going to do, that's going to really make the town beautiful. We're going to make sure the fire department has the money they need to because the town's growing. And then you have what's going to happen potentially down by the train station there, the Midway Crossing, and that's it's the main reason why I got involved with the MacArthur Business Alliance, because I want to know a little bit more about what's going on outside of Holbrook, and that's a buffer, that's a bordering area, I should say, and so obviously something's going to get built down there, and that technically is a Holbrook Fire District, which therefore means it's a Holbrook address. You know, station yards, the south where Tritech is, where they did all that development there, that's Ronkonkoma. And we've always respected that. That's Ronkonkoma. This is Holbrook. This is our town that's going to get that development over there, whatever it's going to be. Word of possibly a convention center, life science building. Listen, the market changes so quickly that then when they're ready to break ground, those things might be outdated. It might be a whole new business model. I can't tell you. But something's going to get built down there. The county wants to do something. I believe the town of Islip wants to do something. There's talk about moving the MacArthur Airport terminal as well. Whether that's going to happen or not, I don't know, but they are currently taking RFEs and RFQs for that. They're getting proposals, so we shall see. I can tell you, though, Holbrook is a big part of that. Obviously, we border the airport, and a lot is happening here. It's a great place to buy a home. Definitely want to see your real estate agents like Karen if you're looking to buy or you have friends that want to buy. I was talking to my friend here, Steve. He's looking maybe doing something. You know what? You invest in this area. This area is going to be an absolute. It already is a great place, but it's going to be a gem for the ROI with the development that's going to go on here. Because what's good is you have good elected officials that aren't going to let the development get out of control. They're going to do it smart. Smart growth was always the buzzword for many, many years. Do the smart growth, smart growth. It is going to get done very smart. I can only speak to Holbrook, and I can promise you that Holbrook is going to do a really good job. So that's pretty much it. I can go on all night. This is my passion. I love it. I was at the Suffolk Coalition of Chambers. We had about 40, 50 chambers that were in the room, and some other major businesses out in the Riverhead area, because that's where they hosted it. They do it in Riverhead. They do it in Patchogue. They do it in Farmingdale. I'm on the advisory board. And all the chambers have the same struggle we do. They need sewers. They have vacancies. They need to grow. But the main thing is the sewers. Sewers are what changed Patchogue. absolutely. You talk to Paul Pontieri, my good friend Paul over in Patchogue, he will tell you they had a sewer district. They were able to expand it with grants from the county, and the sewer has dynamically changed Patchogue. Patchogue is what it is today because of that, and so is Station Yards. And Holbrook is going to follow suit as well, thankfully. So that's good. So you got a great chamber. I tell you, and I'm not saying it because I'm the president, you have a dynamite chamber of commerce. We are so well recognized. Trish was there. That we are one of the top chambers on Long Island, maybe in the state or the country, just because of what we've been able to do. And we've just scratched the surface. Seeing that Sachem building come down last week, that was the first sign of, seeing is believing. You can talk a good game, and I look like I can talk and walk, right? But when you actually see things happen, that's when people really say, wow, they got that done. That is just the beginning. As Legislator Picarello told you, meetings are going to get redone, and then you're going to see sewers come in, and you're going to see, and it's going to take a couple of years for things to get adjusted, and it's going to be a little short-term pain, long-term gain for Holbrook. And I have to tell my mom, too, who shops on Main Street a couple times a week, Mom, it's going to be a little ugly, it's going to get a little rough, but believe me, it's going to be worth it in the long run, and it will, and we're going to see a lot going on here. And I'm so glad that I stayed here, with the chamber all these years, and could not have done it without people like Kenny and Jerry and Marilyn, who couldn't be here tonight, and Kevin and B. Hoffa and our treasurer Fred Costi, who couldn't be here tonight. Without those folks, there's no way that, certainly Kevin and I could have been able to pull it off, because they've always had our back. They're always the ones there to help us with the carnival, with the tree lightings. I mean, it is a lot of work that we do. After you get done, we got to break everything down. This is what it is. I mean, Karen knows, she's on a chamber too. I mean, it's a lot of work, but I'm grateful for that. So, and most of all, I'm grateful for you folks that took the time tonight to be here, to listen to us and hear what we had to say. I know it's 4th of July weekend. Everybody wants to get on with their Independence Day celebration. So we have some coffee and cake. Please join us with that. You want to hang out and network for a little bit, that's great. I'll be here for a while as well if you have any questions. But thank you all for being here. I wish you a happy and most of all safe. Be careful with those fireworks. Everybody's going to be, Dave, be careful. Don't be lighting on those fireworks now.